Life Happens, weekdays 1 to 3 p.m.
Welcome back. It's 1:40 on Life Happens on SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide, leading the conversation. We want to talk about agri-tourism. We want to understand what it is and the kinds of opportunities that it offers as a sector. So we invited ZELDA COETZEE, one of the partners of AgriTourism South Africa, to join us in our Cape Town studio. ZELDA, good afternoon. Thank you so much for the time you took to join us today. First, let's understand what your NPO does.
Thank you, KG, and thank you for the invitation to tell you more about agritourism. So AgriTourism South Africa is the official organization in South Africa that promotes agritourism. We are seen as an information hub for people who already have agritourism businesses or who would like to extend their farm activities into an agritourism offering. And then we also represent the agritourism industry on a governmental level. And we are the only association in Africa that deals with agritourism promotion.
Okay, so I suppose then the question is important also for me to ask, what is agritourism for those that may not know?
So agritourism is basically a growing international movement. It has its roots in Italy, where people go and to farms and learn all sorts of things, from milking cows to tasting and buying farm produce, to go and do an art course on a farm or learn how to make food. So basically you can say that it's any farm activity that's happening on a working farm and has some components of attracting tourists visiting that area.
And the tourists would then what? Would they participate? They come to observe? How does it work?
Yes, so tourists will find the farm where they can do these activities. You will find that in many of the travelers' cases, it's mostly your families with young children, and especially families living in the city who want to show their children how the farm activities work, how the grapes do not just, you don't just buy it in the shop. It's where it actually the source of our food. And I think that in today's life where everything is just so instant, it is the best education that you can offer your children is to show them the source of everything that we just so conveniently have on the shelves. And I think in another aspect for me of children today is they are so used to be entertained by all sorts of technology that this is an opportunity to let them really participate and will make them really have a good experience. But in the same way, there's many agritourism businesses that are also offering really great activities for adults, retreats on farms where you can go on a silent retreat, or you can go and have a pottery course on a farm or a food course or anything like that. So it's not just for families. I think it's also for adults. But it's really something that's growing very fast in South Africa, but it has its roots in Europe and America.
Okay, so at the heart of it, the farm doesn't change its primary function of being a farm. There's an additional sort of leg to the farm work that includes all of these components of teaching the tourists that come into the farm, or irrespective of whether they're coming to learn about farming or they're coming for silence or they're coming for the various things that you just explained.
Yes, I think that for what's important for the farmer to remember before they start any agritourism activity, there are a few basic things, and I think that it's all about the show and tell and how the visitor experience that show and tell. And things are like signage. He knows how to get to his farm. A tourist from the city who's used to Google Maps and all sorts of fancy signage might not get to your farm so quick. So before people actually go into setting up their agritourism venture, they should just keep in mind all the different layers of catering for the tourists. But for me, I think the the most important layer is to make sure that whatever you have on offer, that it's an experience and it's not mechanical. It's something that is really a lasting experience for people.
Yeah, but also in the end, it sounds like it's a great opportunity to help strengthen and grow South Africa's rural economy. Why is strengthening the rural economy every South African's responsibility?
Well, I think that if we can strengthen our rural communities, it means that we can keep our jobs. In Agri-SA did some research that since January 2018, the agricultural sector shed 31,000 jobs. And if they can support through agritourism, they can support these farmers with new agritourism projects. We will make sure that our rural and our agricultural businesses are sustainable. And I mean, we all know that the agricultural sector is a major contributor to the South African economy. So it's just in our own interest that we actually support farmers and the rural communities.
Unfortunately, though, we've been finding, a lot of drought in the last couple of years. How then do drought conditions on farms, and I suppose drought conditions affect all of us now as South Africans, but how do they particularly affect visitors who want to have an agritourism experience?
So I think the most important aspect here is for agritourism businesses to upfront inform the visitors of any water restrictions. Many visitors take water with them when they go and visit some of the farms in the drought areas. Then the farmers can also, as part of their show and tell experience, show how they have actually managed to save water on a farm. The visitors can also take with animal feed. I think from a tourist point of view, the most important point is just to make sure that your visitors know what the water restrictions are and know that your area is experiencing a drought. I think all South Africans nowadays are used to the fact that droughts and the effects of it and the limitations, it's just a way of how we communicate it to the tourists that will be visiting your farm.
And then, what are the benefits to members to join the AgriTourism South Africa, the ones who may be listening to the conversation and thinking this could be a great way for me to expand the business of my farm? How do they join and become a part of AgriTourism South Africa?
Okay, so the best way for them to get more information and especially want to consider membership is to go to our website. It's very easy. It's agritourismsouthafrica.com. So if I can highlight a few benefits to the members is basically we will assist them to market their property, their service, their offering to media that's interested in putting together some information on agritourism in South Africa. I think there's nothing better than to also get advice and sharing of information with your fellow members. So we have a newsletter.
This is tourism members.
Yes,
operators,
tourism.
yeah.
Yes, so and also that we can help farmers who's interested in expanding their business to help them easily identify where their target should be. Is it tourists from the Netherlands who's in South Africa on self-drive? Is it local families from their nearest city? We can really help them to position their marketing offering.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing, because from a farmer's point of view, he might not be so familiar with the tourism industry, and how you get tourists to your farm is a total different ball game. And so it's really, we can offer them some consulting them in the right direction and just steer them in the right direction, helping them with social media. I think social media is a valuable tool that's going to, in the future, be very valuable for farmers to actually get to travelers who's interested in their products.
Okay.
But many don't know how to use the social media platforms effectively.
Yeah.
And then we have regular meetings. So it's really a sense of belonging to a community of people where you belong and can give you very helpful advice.
Okay. My last question to you would be if a group of people might be interested in touring, the rural parts of South Africa and getting to be a part of this agritourism venture. Is there a website that they go to see the variety of places that they can go to and the varied options that are offered in those specific farms?
So the exciting news is that AgriTourism South Africa is working on such a platform, which we are building as we speak, where it will fully cater for the tourists who want to have a quick peek of where can I go this weekend within 20 kilometers from where I am. What do they offer? So it's one of our projects that we will be launching in 2020.
Fantastic. And you do have a website at AgriTourism South Africa?
Yes. So it's agritourismsouthafrica.com.
Fantastic. All the best. And it sounds like an interesting experience for both the tourists and the farming industry. Thank you so much for your time, Zelda.
Thank you, KG.
Thank you. ZELDA COETZEE is one of the partners of AgriTourism South Africa. Interesting way to look at the whole tourism business. And I think even for you as a tourist, if you like to explore rural parts of South Africa, I love that it also allows for space for you to just have moments of silence. I read about a place like that in a magazine in the Venda area, that apparently people just go there, sit on the farm, eat farm food, and hang out with themselves and spiritually just realign themselves. So there's something to get into if touring is your thing. It's 1:51 on SAFM.